Father, we welcome you into our lives and into our hearts this day and always. We carry the hope of the rainbow and the bright new day that dawns beyond the storm. Although difficult, we still need to be positive and carry the light now. In order to do that, we need to let go of our fears and insecurities. It's never easy to be calm in a storm, but you have given us the strength to do so. By cleaning out and clearing out, we make room for our dreams. By letting go of old, bothersome things, we are able to step forward with new understanding. Our world, created by you, Father, seems to jump off the page and speak to us in so many ways that reassure and heal. We can then just simply step through the things that used to hang us up. We can move past falsities and into the realm of being in joy, doing what we were meant to do, to experience all of the best parts of life with gusto, and to brave new territory with courage. Help us, Father, to move through all these challenges protected from any harm, as we protect ourselves from darkness by shining our light. No weapon that is fashioned against you shall succeed, and you shall refute every tongue that rises against you in judgment. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their vindication from me, declares the Lord. Isaiah 54:17. Bless our day today. May we move forward strongly and with purpose. May your will be done as we carry it through. Protect each one of us and every member of our families, Father. Surround them with light so that nothing befalls them. We ask that you protect David Coolidge and Bobby Graves and all the members of the OSJA, and we ask that you protect each one so that they may be always surrounded by your light, enhanced with your love, and able to accomplish all their missions in this life with swiftness and ease. May we always remember that we are your children and we are family, in loving support of each other. May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed. Psalms 24. Let it be so. In the name of our Lord, Yahushua, Jesus, God is victory. Amen.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. Hello, my name is Ron Vroman, the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. It is a mindset. The best way out is straight ahead. Somebody needs to silence their mic, please. It is mindset. The best way out is straight ahead, enforcing the law. Thank you, Larry. Using the existing legislation to remove the Fourth Reich of Paperclip, aka State of Oregon, aka all caps State of Oregon, the de facto of Article 7 amended is abolished. That was done last November, I think. I think that's right. Charlie will double check and it'll be posted on the website correctly for sure. The unidentified man in a black robe abandoned the courtroom today. The Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, our court of record, Article 3, Amendment 7, all of our bona fides in order, and I don't know, I'll say there was 20 of us. And we even signed up Spock. Thank you. That was good. But anyhow, we were in that courtroom in the audience section, and we took up a big hunk of it, and they had guards, big ones, strong guys, people looking for a fight, funny haircuts, lots of tattoos, full battle kit, all armed, rude. Charlie was trying to look around this great big guy, and he stood right in her way between her and the judge so that the judge couldn't see her. And the judge was rambling on. We couldn't understand what he was saying. And it was just bad. And they'd already broken faith the last time, and they hadn't answered our writ of habeas corpus, and we had a full court right there in their court. And so I started hollering at him that this wasn't good, and we couldn't hear what you're saying, and this is not proper, and just hollering at him till he would speak up and do what he's supposed to do, identify himself. Where's your bond? Get your act together. And he jumped and almost ran to get out of there. Closed the door, and the cops started clearing the room. The big guys, the deputy sheriffs, full kit, clear the room. This guy, no shit, 6'7", 6'9", a good 300 pounds. Wrists are 20 inches like Popeye. He's huge. And he's one of those great big Scots with the ginger blonde hair and that reddish Scot complexion. And he's just bruising for a fight. Would just love to get into one. And he's saying, get out of the room, clear the room, just being a turd. And it didn't go well. I said, we cleared the room. You meet us outside. He wouldn't meet us outside. We had to holler. It was just rude. The whole thing's wrong. They don't understand what law is. They think they're tyrants. And anyhow, bullshit. I digress. You have no oath of office to the lawful constitutions of the United States circa 1859 and Oregon, the original jurisdiction constitution circa 1859. We know what law is, and we are law enforcement. I am known as Ronald Charles Vroman and as Ronald Charles Vroman, Private Attorney General by the United States Congress, 42 U.S.C. 1988 and 18 U.S.C. 1510 and 18 U.S.C. 1512. To be known as one of the people, also qualified criminal investigator and federal witness. And by living testimony without rebuttal, status identified and without rebuttal in the City of Beaverton Public Record, Beaverton Municipal Court, and the United States Federal District Court, Portland, Oregon. U.S. Navy veteran 5159365, discharged, the flesh, blood, soul, body, mind, spirit, a man on Oregon, an Oregonian, a continuous traveler, a non-U.S. citizen, born August 14, 1938, Reno, Nevada, with two ancestors, a father and a son, direct bloodline that fought for New York in our revolution. My mother's father, Stockwell Gonzalez, 1876, New Mexico. General delivery, Beaverton, Oregon, 97005, in brackets, 503-641-8375, ronvroman38@gmail.com. Paragraph. Correct. In the land of all sovereigns, it only takes one to enforce the law and one to make a claim. Due process was denied to Miami Daves, a.k.a. David Collage. All the paperwork will be really right, signed, sealed, stamped, witnessed, proof of service. Next week. I don't know the day for sure, but I think they schedule it for another Friday in the morning. I'm not sure. We'll be there. Okay, let me get this a little better here. One claim is made. Due process was denied Miami-Dade. And we know it was denied because it was not proper. And we know what proper is because proper has been acquiesced to, being governing law, which was acquiesced to and identified by their court, their sheriff, their DA. All of them agreed that governing law at this time is Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union, Oregon's original Constitution circa 1859, and the United States of America's apostrophe S Constitution circa 1859, and ORCP 20A semicolon, Clearfield Doctrine, semicolon, Accardi Doctrine, semicolon, Ex parte Young, semicolon, Ex parte Milligan, semicolon, McCarran-Walters Act, 1952, semicolon, Judiciary Act, 1789, Section 32, Judgment Nihil Dicit, are all specifically called into this document. They are all governing law, which must be accepted. Incontrovertible evidence of violation 18 USC 3571. That is worth $250K every time they do that to Dave. And when they do it with incontrovertible evidence, I place the incontrovertible evidence in front of a grand jury, a lawful grand jury on Oregon, and say, here's the incontrovertible evidence. This is the law. This is how you hold an arraignment and a hearing. It's all written down. This is how you do it. They didn't do that. That's incontrovertible evidence that they denied due process to Dave. Just bingo. We got 8 witnesses. So those 8 witnesses can't be sitting on this grand jury, which shortens the pool tremendously, but we have 8 witnesses to this fact. We were all there, maybe even 20, but we'll just say 8. So that's incontrovertible evidence, a preponderance of evidence for the grand jury to listen to, and that one error is worth $250,000. And the grand jury, I hope, will give us a presentment and a true bill, and we'll file them where they need to be filed with the treasurer of Oregon, state of Oregon, AKA all caps state of Oregon, whatever it is, the treasurer, what's his name? No, it's not Thelonious. It's nobody's going to help me out, huh? Reed, Jeremiah Reed, Jethro Lee Reed, Tobias Reed. Thank you, Charlie. Tobias Reed. Yes, we'll submit him the bill and see what happens. Plus attorney fees, if we've got an attorney that will do it with us, or we may apply for unfettered counsel fee.
Unfettered assisted counsel.
Yes, unfettered assisted counsel. Thank you. Okay, so now we've established what governing law is, and they broke it. And it's obvious. So that one deal right there is an incontrovertible evidence. And I'm seeking a court's order from our civilian court of record, a docket number, to pursue the bona fides of the entire Lane County Sheriff's Office, including all those named here by hand. And I have said leave space for 20 names to be added by our marshal, spelled with 1 or 2 L's. I don't know which is correct. Robert Graves. And then new sentence, we are enforcing the law. In this investigation, we've already identified that I'm an investigator working as a private attorney general on this case. And I got a court's order. Now I wonder what they're going to hit me with the stick, or are they going to cooperate? We are enforcing the law. In this investigation, we are obtaining the proper oath and bond of each deputy sheriff, AKA armed man and women, in kit in the Lane County Courthouse and the court administrator and the building bailee and the sheriff. And I think we ought to go presiding judge and district attorney. They're supposed to be there anyhow because we have an arrest warrant out on them. So anyhow, I want to drum this up into a really good looking document. And it was a pretty good after action report on what happened. We totally got our ass kicked at every intersection, but they did not get away without some retaliation. They got punched too. And we picked up a new member. That's always good. And we saw members show up that haven't shown up in a while. We did good when we lost. That's, we were there and we did not abandon the field. They did.
And I would like to add that it was really a welcome sight to see people there who had come from afar and local Eugene people, but also they were shocked at how the proceedings went because there was really no proceeding and it was supposedly a hearing, but you couldn't hear and therefore it wasn't a hearing at all as the judge runs out of the room. Absurd.
Anybody else want to jump in?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. I am so proud to be a member of the Jural Assembly and so proud of you, so proud of Charlie, so proud of everything that everybody did. Cynthia, everybody did. And Dave for being, oh my God, Bobby too. Bobby. Like I said, I'm very proud to be a part of this. And we continue to walk it. Thank you.
My name's Ron Vroom, and I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I have a short one to read, and I'm going to read it because if I try and remember it, I'll leave stuff out for sure. It goes, property stolen by a legitimate government was returned to the heirs of the rightful owners. Possession by a pirate does not change ownership. Regardless of the fact that the German people elected someone else, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany in 1933. He was elected President of the German Republic in 1934. Germany canceled the debt for their World War I aggressions at the same time. So Germany went from brown shirts in the streets to Dachau and Auschwitz in 9 years. The Nazis in power appropriated, stole everything of value from those they wished to oppress and hid them in secret places. The ones they didn't flaunt in their villas and castles. The Nazis in power stole everything. The liberating armies of the Allies and the USSR found many of these hidden treasures. Several military men stole part of what they found and sent it home. 50 years later, the truth came out and the rightful heirs received their inheritance back from a 60-year-old theft. So, a lawful government changed into an illegal and illegitimate governance from a republic to a dictatorship. I just read it to you. You can go read it in the history books. It's a short version, but all true. That's what happened. So that same thing happened on Oregon. It happened on Oregon November 8, 1910, when the executive of Oregon, Frank Benson, who was Secretary of State and governor at the same time, which is a constitutional impossibility, colluded with the judiciary and the legislature to operate the state of Oregon, aka all cap version state of Oregon, as a subsidiary of the United States Inc. The United States Inc. came about from the conflagration between the states that was never a war and there was never a peace treaty and it was just an armistice. But that whole horrendous thing that happened cost so many lives, wound up with the United States of Washington District of Columbia incorporating itself, I think it was 1871, and becoming a different United States. Not the lawful, legitimate one, but an illegitimate one. And they did this through Frank Benson. They did this by placing Article 7 amended, which is the Judiciary Act of the Oregon Constitution, into the Oregon Constitution without the proper votes being counted in any of the counties. We have a booklet on our website, www.orsja.org, called Vultures, written by a guy named Milt Mitchek. It's just a small booklet, a good read if you like history. The Bar Association in Illinois sent out emissaries starting in 1906 with the thought of flipping the individual constitutional governments of the several states into de facto governance and to replace lawful government with color of law, incorporated subdivisions of the United States Inc. of Washington District of Columbia. So everybody can relate to what happened in Nazi Germany. The history's still pretty clear. You can still find it. A lawfully elected government morphed into an illegitimate, illegal, cruel, and vicious governance. And the same thing happened on Oregon. Only it took from 1910, 112 years, to now for that vicious, cruel streak to come to the forefront. We had a benevolent form of martial law and an incorporated governance on Oregon that was pretty good. It was so good that people had a real difficult time comprehending that it was bad. If you're a slave and you don't know you're a slave and everything you do is just fine, as long as you don't do anything wrong, you never get in trouble. And the Constitution was nice, but who cared? Because nobody ever did anything that caused anybody to worry about the Constitution. Everything was just fine. I know. I had cognitive dissonance until I was 75, 2014. They had me fooled. They have most of the people still fooled today. So what we're dealing with is MK Ultra, mind control. That's what's going on. So we're taking Oregon back. We're taking the United States back. We're going to return to an original jurisdiction government of the people, by the people, for the people. Article 1, Section 1 of Oregon's Constitution. Now, here's another part that I want to bring up. On the Nazi issue from World War II. After the World War II was over, and the Russians were doing their best to capture all the smart German Nazi scientists they could, and the Brits and the Americans were doing the same thing. The OSS, which is a precursor of the CIA, imported Nazi scientists. People want to say they were German. Well, yeah, they were German. They were German Nazis. Nobody rose to the level of scientific excellence that these people had, inventing rockets and airplanes and doing all the stuff that they were doing for the Third Reich. Nobody got there unless they were a Nazi. Couldn't do it. The game was rigged. similar to the way it's rigged here. So all of these scientists and engineers with their families were imported to the United States under Operation Paperclip. Now you can look it up. You can find it. It's easy. There's been lots of stuff written on it. Now we have third and fourth generations of those people, those Nazi scientists and their families that came over here. Now you think they stopped being Nazis just because? No, they didn't stop. They just were quiet and they taught their kids how to be Nazis and be quiet about it. And a surprising number of them we've seen in the last few years in the DOJ, the FBI, and the CIA. It's amazing how many German names were coming up. Mueller, for an example, in the DOJ, investigating Trump. Not that I like him, but it was obvious. And those people are still in the FBI running it. The Fourth Reich is alive and well in Washington, District of Columbia. That's the truth. So I sent that out yesterday. I got an answer back from Anna von Ritz. And she told me all about 51% of the population that immigrated was German. And she went into this whole long thing. I'm not talking about Germans, I'm talking about Nazis. There's a difference. Don't get off into the weeds on these subjects. Stick to it. You notice on this, I didn't talk about anything about Jews, gypsies, or any of the other atrocities that were done. I just talked about Nazis. And I yield. Thank you, guys.
Stop your recording.
What?
Stop your recording.
Yep.
I have a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Stop your recording. I don't want this recorded.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. And then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, shot him 3 more times.